The 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone provided the president power to appoint individuals into various public offices, both locally and abroad. However, four recent appointments from State House have sparked a debate over the decision of the president in choosing a particular family to represent the state in multiple positions. This morning, to discuss these appointments, processes, among other government activities, we've been joined in the studio by the presidential spokesman, Alhaji Alpha Kanu. And we also have a political analyst, Ibrahim Soli Dumbuya, who's the Executive Director, League of Democracy. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
I'll start with you, Ibrahim. What is your perception or perspective on getting 4 members of the same family in one day get various appointments from the president?
Yeah, thank you. I believe my perception and understanding is in conformity with the public perception about the appointments. Yes, of course, it is the constitutional right of the president to appoint. But irrespective of the president has such a constitutional right, he must do that for the best interest of the nation. And also, I don't believe anybody will question the constitutional right, but the exercise of such right can be questioned. Because...
is this a good or a bad thing to have the Anta family get 4 appointments in one day?
Largely, it's a bad thing.
What makes it bad?
Well, firstly, the Anta family, previously, if you go by history and records, they have been accused and alleged for several things. They have been related in the past for drugs issues. They have been related in the past for Hezbollah and all other things. So, I mean, making such an appointment, and we all know when we speak about the Anta family, these are one set of people. They came before the war. Of course, if you read the history of the first Anta, which is probably maybe the grandfather or what that came to Sierra Leone, it's long ago. And when he came, he was in Freetown and later went to Kanu. He settled in Kanu. After that, he went to Kenema. He was like a businessman. They are doing mining and all other things. Yes. So if you take into that, from there, you know, we started having children from him, and you know, he got married in Sierra Leone and all that. So we are talking about one unit. In as much allegations we are going around, I mean, it behoves His Excellency to have done thorough checks. And also, don't forget about the issue of nepotism. Nepotism can be brought into perception, considering appointing, 4 or 5 people in one family. That can best be connected to nepotism. And you cannot take that away, because that is the perception of the public, and that is our own position. So what comes to mind is what type of appointment also. Remember, this is a diplomatic appointment. And given such a diplomatic appointment, it is like actually enhancing our diplomatic relationship, bringing them into administrative policies, bringing them into administrative functions that can be associated with the foreign affairs, and also by extension be associated with State House. So if you are given such an appointment, there are several things that you ought to have considered. As we have already established, talking about several allegations surrounding the Anta family, talking about nepotism, talking about the exercise of the president, that has to be done with caution and cautiously as to how such appointment will be done.
All right, Ibrahim, let's come to Alpha Khan. The appointment of 4 members of the same family, as the president does have the right to hire, to make appointments. But now the questioning is, why? How and why did that happen? What's the justification for the appointment?
That's a brilliant question. Thank you very much. First of all, let me situate my young friend. that you've got the wrong guys. The hunters we're talking about are not the ones that went to Kanu. The hunters we're talking about are not the ones that dug for gold and diamonds in this country. These are hunters born and bred in Port Loko. Their grandfather came in 1925 to Port Loko. Never went anywhere else, and he died there. His grave is still there. And the younger ones, we lived together in Port Loko. I was born there myself about the same time. And we were age mates, classmates, friends. We only broke ranks when I went to study in England in 1973, and the elder hunter, Faisal, who was one of the appointees, came to Freetown to continue business in 1973. That is 52 years ago. And we can see that my friend has the wrong people. These hunters are hunters that have worked with every government from the time of Shaker Stevens to President Momo to the Strasser NPRC to President Kaba, Abnes Kuroma, and then to now presently President Bio. But let me also tell him that the question nepotism doesn't arise here.
How so?
Because nepotism is when you are in a position and you appoint your own members of the family.
And friends and associates. It doesn't stop with
the
just
nepotism
relatives.
here doesn't apply to the hunters with regards to President Bio.
Alpha Khan, please, just a minute, take a pause. Let me Google quickly nepotism meaning. It says, the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends or associates, especially by giving them jobs.
Well, the hunters are neither associates, nor friends or relatives of President Bio.
Are they strangers to President Bio?
They are Sierra Leoneans who are working in Sierra Leone.
Are they strangers to President Bio?
They cannot be strangers if they live in Sierra Leone.
What's President Bio's
Are you a
relationship
friend?
with the Anta family?
Fine, thank you very much. President Bio's association with the Anta family is their contribution to national development. The Antas, like I said, I started saying, worked as far back as with President Shaker Stevens, providing services and supplies that government need. At the time, most times, the government doesn't have the money to pay at the time. They are able to pre-finance a lot of things and also contribute to national development through CSR. One case in point that really stands out is when we were struck with Ebola in 2014. There was a hue and cry about where to get the right equipment for the doctors and the frontline workers, the PPEs, the ambulances to get the sick from their villages into hospital. Well, there were no ambulances here. The hunters were approached by government to help secure and procure these. There was no money. But the hunters were able to fly all of this equipment, including the ambulances, by air, to come here, even before contracts were signed, because they felt the need to support government to save the lives of Sierra Leoneans. Also, when the President Kaba wanted to renovate the Connaught Hospital and the 34 Hospital, the hunters were there to do it with pre-financing. The current mortuaries that are being built in the country need equipment. Government hasn't got the money to run it. The hunters are ready and willing, and have in fact done so, to bring in the mortuary equipment for Connaught and every other district in this country.
All these interventions you mentioned, Alpha Khan, are they donations to the country, or are they business opportunities
They are
for
business
the Anta family?
They are business opportunities with a human face. Business opportunities will not be taken if you don't have a contract and you're not paid.
So
I'm saying
this sounds, it was business, not like they were involved in some charity work, but it's business.
Everybody does business.
Is President Bio now rewarding their family? Is the appointment a reward to the family?
You recognize the contribution of people who work with you to facilitate your delivery to your people. And that is recognition. The positions they have been given are honorific positions. These are not positions that are paid. These are not positions that are going to cost any money, any funding from government. They are going to be looking after themselves. They've been doing that for a long time. It's just a case of saying, oh, you have tried, but we recognize you. So we are giving you an opportunity to be this special envoys so that we can catalyze your interventions when you go out to secure investment into the country, like they already are looking for opportunities to help bring in water supply systems to the cities of Lunge, Potloko, and Kanu. For these things, if you have an opportunity to say that I am coming here with the kind of integrity that even the government recognizes that I am an honest and integrity, a businessman with integrity, you will be able to make things a lot faster. It's a catalyst.
Alpha Khan, to those people who would draw excerpts from Emerson's song to say, we sit on the Lebanese man and the fry will too fat, on what grounds would you now disagree with them, especially in this context of the appointments?
No, well, there was no fat to fry. That's his whole issue. The Lebanese are business people who come here. They have been here since colonial times. They were even deliberately brought into the country by the British to help them in looking after the areas of the economy while they
doesn't give me pleasure to interrupt you, but I just don't want us to do the history class of the Lebanese and how they came to Sierra Leone.
But you asked a question that requires...
So we're now delving into the Anta family.
Well, let us stay with that.
Because of their appointment.
Yeah, but then you generalized it to Lebanese.
The president has advisors.
Yes.
An appointment like
one
this.
of them.
An appointment, oh, okay, now you're also an advisor to the president.
Yes.
Okay. You now as an advisor, didn't you think as advisors to the president that issuing a release for appointments from the same family in one day could make heads roll and turn a microscope on the Anta family? What was your position to the president as advisors?
Well, first of all, there are certain things where the president does. He doesn't really need to talk to the advisors for that. This is a discretionary decision the president takes. And from his own judgment and justification, he feels that it is justified to appoint the Antas. And he has done that. And if you will expect that, even if it was one person that was appointed. Here today, we have had a series of appointments of special envoys before, and long before President Bio. Not only Lebanese. We have had people from China being appointed as special envoys, don't even live in this country. We have people in America being appointed as special envoys, even in Canada. They don't live here. These people live here. They're born here. In December, their arrival in this country would mark 100 years when their father first came into Potloko, where he still lies in his tomb in Potloko. And these are people who have worked for the country. These are people who have done a lot of CSR. Our main mosques in Potloko, the Dam Street Mosque and the Falaba Road Mosque, they have taken the onus for many years now of rehabilitating that every year, bringing in the carpets, changing the roofs, painting them, building the walls around them, making them attractive for us to go into. They are building an orphanage at the moment at Mile 13 and a school for the community. They are building another school at York and a mosque there. At the moment, they are also building the pavilion for the parade at Benguema Training Center.
So the appointment is a recognition and reward for
It's
all
a recognition,
these? And reward for
It's
all
a
these?
recognition. Call it a reward, call it a... When somebody does something, they say in life, there are no free lunches. When somebody does something for you, recognize that. You motivate them to do more and motivate others to want to come in and do same things.
Haji,
They feel.
if we are to contextualize this morning, listen, since you're making a case for the Anta family, are you saying that this is the
I'm
only
making a
family in
case for
Sierra
the
Leone
Anta
that
family
has done
to
all of these kinds
justify.
of things?
Sorry?
Are there no other families who've done
How would I
similarly
know?
much
How
more
would
so
I know?
than
How
the
would I,
Antas?
this particular family, I know it.
Now, what I'm asking
And let me
is,
just first of clear the fact that
couldn't the president have diversified? Why 3 people in one family? Why are there other families around? Like, I mean, they're...
you just
You know,
quoted.
there are Kurumas, there are-
You just
there are
quoted.
four
You
people.
just quoted Section 40 of the Constitution.
Who quoted it?
She did. He said that the Constitution gives him the power to make
Yes,
appointments.
it did, actually.
Fine,
With discretion.
fine. So he's used his discretion.
Why did you advise the president to appoint 4 people
Well, that is
in
the
one
big
family?
that is the big mistake you're making.
You are not involved,
I was not even involved at all.
But you are an advisor
I was
to the president.
Yeah, but I don't have to advise him on everything.
Okay.
I was informed.
Do you
I
see
learned
this, do you
about
see this
it.
as justified?
I learned yes, it is justified because of what I know about them and what they've done for the
What about the other families who have been doing similar?
I don't know about them.
You don't know about the other families in
No,
Sierra
I
Leone
don't.
who have done
No, I don't
similarly
know.
well?
This
So in
particular-
essence, you're saying this morning that the
particular
Answers
family
are
I
the
know
only
and I
family
can
in
talk
Sierra
about
Leone
it.
that have
Sorry?
done well for this country.
I don't know about the other families who have done such things like
What about
that.
other indigenous families?
Which ones?
Do you think there are no other people in this
No,
country
I'm
who
not
are
saying
good
that,
people?
but you tell me which one you're talking about.
So you're saying, in essence,
No,
I'm
no,
quoting
tell me
you.
which
You're
one
saying
you're
that there are
talking-
no philanthropists in Sierra Leone.
Tell me which
And the
one
only
you-
philanthropists we have are the Answers.
No,
Is that what you're saying this
Well,
morning?
you are taking it too far.
No,
out of
I'm not taking-
context.
I'm just
you
trying to
wanted
understand.
contextualize, but you're taking it out of context.
I'm trying to
I am
understand
not
exactly
talking
why
about the
indeed
general
4
public
people
of
will be
Sierra-
employed in
you
one
brought
family
me here
in
to
one
talk-
day.
You brought me here to talk about the Antas. You didn't bring me here to talk about other families in Sierra Leone. And luckily for me, I know about the Antas. I live with them. I was born around with them. I was born before they were, but they were born in the same town as I did. I played with them. I went to school with them. I know their integrity, and I know the acronym which the father had when he was alive. In Potloko, the father was referred to as Uramone. Uramone means the poor man's friend. This is a man who, in his shop, you will come to buy uniform for your children, and you don't have enough of the money, he'll still give it to you. This is a man who you don't have money to pay the tailor, they will give you the money to pay the tailors who are sitting right in front of his shop to do that for you. When he died in 1966 on 13th September by road accident at Rubere Junction, the whole town was shut down for 2 days because we revered that man. We call him Uramone, the poor man's friend.
No doubt.
the poverty extraction.
let also-
So when you ask about somebody I know them, and I can talk about them.
That's why you speak with so much
alacrity.
passion this
What I
morning.
tell you about them, you can take to the bank because I know them. At least for 15 years when I was growing up in Potloko, before I went to England to study.
Another appointment that astonished the whole country recently is Railway Development and Regulatory Authority. What does the director there do? I mean, the man who was recently appointed.
But you should
What
bring
does
in,
that do?
You should bring in the Minister of Transport for this. Not
That
me.
was our appointment, so that the president...
Yes, but it would have been advised by the Minister of Transport. You should have brought somebody from the Ministry
Are
of
you
Transport.
saying that you know
I don't
nothing
know
about this
I
other
don't know
appointment?
about that appointment.
Just like the answers? You
The
know nothing
answers, I was informed about that by one of the journalists at Liberty TV when she called me. Oh, there's been some appointments. Can you come and talk
So in
about
essence,
it?
you're saying
Let
that
me
all
just
of these
finish.
appointments
But
are happening.
You ask a question and you don't allow somebody to answer clearly and you step in. That is
Go
not
ahead,
conversation.
please. Go ahead.
The
Finish
conversation
up.
is I talk, I listen to you, you talk, you listen to me. Now, she called me yesterday, day before yesterday.
This
This, Liberty TV, Khadija.
Okay.
We want you to come and talk about this. I said, which appointments? Oh, there's been some appointment for special envoys. I said, send it to me. She sent it to me and I saw that it was the answers. I said, okay, let me get home. I was going to Potloko then. I'll call you back. When I got there, this is a subject I know. This is people who are deserving of that. These are people when we had COVID-19, they're the ones who brought the first PPEs here. These are the people who helped government. They call them government enablers. So if you have somebody who's
you're
enabling
deferred back to the old conversation. I asked about the railway.
No,
also.
the railway, sorry.
A lot of people see this as unjustified.
You said why? I don't know about that one, as I told you. I don't know
Do we
about
have
it. But
a
you
railway,
should,
walking railway in Sierra Leone even?
sorry?
Do we have a walking railway in Sierra
Well,
Leone?
maybe the intention is to have one.
Is to have one. Are you
To
saying
have
that
one.
it's the president's
intention is
agenda to have
one,
a
yes.
railway in Sierra
If
Leone?
they appoint a directorate of railway services or things like that, it is to put a feasibility together.
And then one
to see how
document
it
that
can
the president has actually communicated that particular idea as
Sorry?
visibly as possible,
Sorry?
where he said he wants to bring back a railway in Sierra Leone.
Do I? I didn't get your
Can you reference a particular document or speech that His Excellency has made in the past or recent past that he communicated quite clearly
His
that he wanted to bring back the railway system in
His
Sierra Leone?
Excellency
I have no
has-
knowledge about it.
His Excellency has a sector for transport and the transport and aviation. That sector would have advised him. He would have discussed with them. They're in cabinet together. They go into subcommittee meetings together. They meet.
Yeah.
So they would have made that decision. The
I know
president would just
the
get
railways
up
I
and
know about are the ones that the mining sector is using, I mean, to transport our local,
say, Are they railways?
Oh, they're using them to transport.
Are they railways? If they are railways, yes. And you
So in
don't-
essence, you're
let me
saying-
just tell you that the railway the mining companies are using actually belong to the government. They are on lease to the mining companies. So to have a directorate to oversee that is in place.
Alpha, you know, I mean, you've listened for a while, and then we have gone to the railway appointment. Now, all of these appointments, what picture do they paint to you? I mean, the advisor is here, also doubles as a spokesperson for the president's, the seat of power in Sierra Leone. He has made a case this morning that the Antas are supposed to be appointed based on what they've done in Sierra Leone and their level of generosity and, you know, philanthropy generally, if you like to call it, in Sierra Leone, and how it has been felt and admired by a lot of them, including himself, sitting here this morning. You think it's justified on a general scale?
Thank you. My daddy has made a lot of statements with regards the Anta family. And historically again, the first Anta that came to this country was Adel Hassan Anta, which is their father. And when he first came to this country, he was in Freetown. Before he went to Port Loko, he was in Kanu. After Kanu, he went to Kenema. And after Kenema, he went to Port Loko. He met his first wife. He met a Sierra Leonean lady at Moyamba. This was a businessman. So after that, as my dad has said, and I've clarified that. Secondly, we're talking about the allegations. These are within and around the corridors of the Anta family, especially when we have a system of where we have been accused of hosting a drug baron.
But he said these are different people you're talking about.
No.
He's ignoring that.
No, I'm coming. We only have one Anta family in Sierra Leone.
No, we don't.
Historic. No, we only have one Anta family in Sierra Leone.
How many answers do we
That
have?
is the Anta family. That's only one. These are allegations
The
surrounding.
man is erroneously
If all these allegations are
misleading you.
surrounding them, it's I'm coming. It's suitable for the president to have done extensive research. Thirdly, my dad spoke about compensation, because that's compensation. These are business people. All these things that they have done, they did not do it by way of goodwill. It was as a result of business and contractual agreements with the government, of which money were paid to them by the consolidated fund and money from taxpayers' money.
So in essence, you're saying these are projects
These are
that are being
projects,
implemented, paid
yes,
for
yes,
by the government,
yes, of
and
course.
not mere
No,
goodwill
these are not
gestures.
goodwill. You have when you.
But the
go to
spokesperson is painting a picture as if, I mean, they did all of these things based on their own goodwill and generosity as a
what
family.
my dad is saying is actually pitching out what we call corporate social responsibility. And these are policy by way of contractual agreement. When you have a contract to the government and you are doing at a specific area, you have a corporate social responsibility. And that entitles you to actually do certain corporate activities, maybe building recreational centers and all. This is what my dad is thinking about. And also, if my dad is telling me that that is the requirement for the president to actually appoint the Anta family, it's surprising. It's surprising to some extent I don't know, but it baffles me because there are other moral recognitions that you can give to them. Like you have the Order of the Hotels. Whenever the president is doing all of these awards, I mean, he had benefited from that. Okay, they can give you Order of the Hotel. But when you make an appointment, this is not by way of complimenting or compensation and compensating person. No. You are bringing the person as an official staff working on behalf of the government. So there has to be a meritorious status or requirement for that. So if you say you are compensating the Ante family because of what they have done, under which we describe as their corporate social responsibility, and they have benefited from the government on contract activities, then one will have to say, if I come, I just do X, Y, and Z, I will have an appointment, I have a diplomatic immunity and all of this. Because this is what we have to look at. It's a diplomatic office.
Ibrahim, sorry, this is not the first time that we've had people be appointed in such capacities. What makes this one stand out for scrutiny?
It's one, you talk about the amount. Look at the numbers. We're talking about 4 in a row, one family. In as much as
if it had been one person, well, at a go,
to some extent,
this conversation exists?
It is still exposed to scrutiny, looking at the reputational stance of the family itself, or this individual that is being appointed. Okay?
So to put it, families could perhaps be a fallacy of generalization. You would agree or disagree? Could you use these individuals themselves? Are these individuals competent and qualified for the appointments they've received? Taking away their family reputation for now, but zooming the lens on the individuals.
This is what we have been saying. But again, when it comes to competence, let's talk about the capacity of them to actually function in such positions. Well, when you look at it, these are positions that actually entails bringing investments and all other things. But the competence by way of academic is not actually necessary in this place. The competence by way of other political entitlement may not be necessary. But the competence by way of morality is in question. And also, the competence by way of independence is another issue. Imagine when you spoke about nepotism, my dad denied, said it has nothing to do with nepotism, but that is nepotism when you look at the general meaning of the word itself, nepotism. But however, if we are domesticating
what makes this nepotism when the advisor / spokes has said President Bio is not friends with the family or related to the family. This appointment has come merely their contribution towards society.
You don't need to have relationship with the family, because that is what we are saying. You don't need to have relationship. It brings the suspicion when you target one family, you put them in a spot of an appointment, maybe 3, 4, 5, it brings to question nepotism. I mean, that is one of the elements of the definition of nepotism. But however, if such an appointment has been done, I think the president in the appointment, it is there that they can revoke it if necessary. But thorough background was not done. You don't give appointments to compensate people.
How would you know that thorough background was not done?
Because
how did you arrive at that
conclusion? It's groping in the dark.
Because how you look at the family itself. I have given the historical aspect of it. I have given several allegations around the Ante family.
Ibrahim, sorry, would it be fair to sort of withhold opportunities from individuals based off their family record and not their individual records? Would it be fair to do that?
It may not, but however, some of the names that are given there must be scrutinized. Remember, these were issues that was all over the place.
So on your scrutiny, I asked you, I'll ask again, the individuals on that appointment, not the family now generally, what's your own information you've been able to gather on the individuals, not their family? Those individuals.
You know what it means when they allege a whole family? You know what it means? That simply means if they are, listen, they are part of the family. And the allegations that we are going around is the family itself, the anti-family, we are alleged. So what is important is whether they were singled out. No, the allegation was specifically generalized to the anti-family. So it begs to an assertion rather, to say it may be some of these people that were specifically in the investigations.
Have you done a background check on the names, the 4 people that were mentioned, their own track record as individuals, not just generally with the family?
Well, since the appointment came out, I've been doing my own background check.
On the 4 individuals?
Yes, and I've realized...
What's your outcome?
And my outcome is this, that they lack the moral standing for them to be appointed.
On what grounds?
To be part of the special envoy. Because this is a State House appointment. This is a State House functions of which you carry a lot of opportunities. And you've been associated to the diplomatic communities. So to some extent, you have to look at all of those things. Sometimes you as a journalist, you may not be holistically seeing something, but you may have just one evidence that can be connected to all of them.
Let me circle back to Alhaji. These appointments are all related to tourism and investment, not so?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I mean, would you say the government is truly serious about tourism in Sierra Leone?
Yes, I'd say that. I'm a member of the government, and I know what the Minister of Tourism is doing. She's all over the place soliciting investments in tourism.
Okay.
Yes, I can answer that question. But let me correct my young man.
Let's finish
it's
up
a
with
case
this.
of mistaken identity. He's really referring to the wrong family here. This family is talking about that went to
He's saying that
Moyamba,
there are
married
only
people.
No,
No,
there's
please,
only one answer in Sierra Leone.
let me
That's
clear.
what he's
No,
saying.
it is not true. This man who came in 1925 to Potloko is called Daklala Anta, not Mohamed Anta, or whatever I called him. Let me finish, please. I did not say anything when you were talking.
Sorry, sir.
This is a case of mistaken identity, and somebody giving, like you said, he didn't do any background information. This family is separate. They've lived in Potloko and nowhere else since 1925. In December, it will be 100 years. All right? And Paanta Daklala, he has 6 children. 2 from Sierra Leone, a Sierra Leonean woman, not from Moyamba, but from Kagbantama in Kase Chiefdom, Potloko district. Her children, who were the eldest of Papa Danta's children, was Said Anta, who used to be the captain for the Cambia district football team called Colanten Rovers. The other one, Abdul Anta, used to be the captain for the Potloko district football team called Baibure Warriors. And then the Faisals and all that came after that. So he's talking completely about different people.
All right.
And I don't even know about these other Antas he's talking about. When we talk Anta, it's the Antas of Potloko.
Established.
The father died there in 1966. He's buried there in our Central Park by special commission of the people of Potloko. They don't want him in the cemetery. They wanted him in the central. And that is where he still lies. And every week, every month or so, they go down there to just offer
Since
sacrifice.
you know them so well, what was your role in advising the president that such appointments, 4 names from the same family, could turn a microscope on them and put them under this scrutiny they're now going through? Didn't it fit to advise the president that 4 appointments from one family in one day could make heads roll?
I have not seen the president since the appointment. I learned about the appointment on my way to Potloko in the evening from a journalist like you who called me for an interview. And I told her I haven't seen the appointment. When she sent me it turned out to be the answers that I know. So, and I told them yesterday at Liberty TV, I said this appointment is long overdue. This recognition is long overdue. Shaka Stevens should have done that. President Momo should have done that. Even Ernest Koroma could have done that. Valentine Strasser could have done that. If Bio does that, he's doing the country a favor and at the same time also doing us, the people of Port Loko, a favor. We could have done that. I say if I was in a position to recognize this family, this family does that help.
Sorry gave an alternative, giving them the award.
Well,
would have been a recognition too, not just an appointment.
How do you know that is not coming? I am saying that...
that's coming too?
No, I don't know. I say, how do you know that is not coming? So if that is what you want for them, maybe that can come. But this one, those awards, those honorary awards, they don't expect you to bring anything. Here they're saying, we are appointing you as a special envoy for tourism and investment. And you just asked me about government being serious about tourism. And that is also an indication that we are serious. You see, somebody has been also appointed to be going to Central Europe to do that. So we attract people from other far reaches of the world.
You know, while you're saying this, Alhaji, let me circle back to what I asked earlier, because I'm glad you've touched on.
It's honorific.
Alhaji,
honorific.
Alhaji, I'm glad you.
It's honorific.
I'm glad you've gone back to the tourism stuff I spoke about earlier. Because let me paint a picture for you. Taku Gama has been closed for almost 4 months now. Just this Sunday, I had an extensive discussion with the CEO of the place, Bala Amarasekaran, who has given this government an ultimatum to December. If you failed to protect that particular area, he's going to close the place or walk away, leave our country for good. It's the same thing that is happening right now at Sugarloaf. It has almost been swallowed up by people, encroachers who've grabbed the lands around that place. The same for Mambo, right down that particular stretch. All of the forest at the back of that waterfall have been barbed off. People are complaining, people are grumbling. And when we invited the EPA to come on the program on Sunday, they declined. It's the same for the Ministry of Environment. So much for a government that speaks about tourism. And while the places that should attract people are perishing. The dam at the back of Takogama is almost encroached. The water is dirty. Upstream, downstream pollution. When it washes the silt at the top, it goes into the place. That place is almost vanishing. There is a huge bulldozer as I'm talking to. You can go there and check at the moment.
I am a mining engineer. I specialize in geotechnical engineering, geophysics. On the 13th of August, 2017, I was driving past Mount Sugarloaf that evening about 5 p.m. That was when I was running for flag bearer of the APC. I was going to a meeting in Calabar town. I turned around and saw the way the hill had been barbed off. I said to my driver and to my security that was there, I said, look over there. I said, that's a disaster waiting to happen. I knew that. And do you know that that night, it happened in the morning? The mudslide on the 14th of August? I said it at 5 p.m. I hate what I'm seeing there. The president hates what he's seeing there. He has given instructions that anybody who has gone beyond the green line, whether it is his brother or his own house is there, it should be demolished. And that process is ongoing. You're talking about the Takugama. Very recently, there was a task force of military and police and the lands ministers who went there. There's some demolition going on. But you know, the Sierra Leoneans are very hard-headed to keep to discipline, to understand what they call land on those hills is not land. Those are hills. I wouldn't build a house there. It's disaster. I wouldn't do that. But not many of us think that way. So this has to, when it happens, the government will take care of it. But you also have to help government to pay attention to what government is telling you, where to be and where not to be. And that's the problem we have with Sierra Leone. It's a matter of discipline. That is why when President Ernest Koroma came up with this attitudinal and behavioral change, it was a very good policy. Honorable I.B. Kagbo and I took it up. We were the co-chairs and we're taking it all over the country. Now that's been subsumed into the Civic Education Council now that is working on that. I think they should double their effort.
The phrase orders from above is quite prominent from these people who encroach in these places.
Well, it depends on which above you're talking about. There are so many above.
Monday,
there are so many above.
On Monday,
the above that I know and I work for is against that.
On Monday, officer of the village and head of regions, they published a press release calling on the government to protect these areas.
We are doing that. We are fighting. But it is the recalcitrance of the Sierra Leonean, the intransigence of the Sierra Leonean, a lot of us, that's causing this. You tell them don't go there, there's danger. You tell people don't touch the transformers, they'll kill you. They still go and cut the cable.
That's why there's
and
a
they
government.
die there. No, I'm just telling you that they ignore even danger signs to their own detriment to just be unruly. Because that's rudeness. Not behaving law is rudeness. And the government and the president, I know, is very keen to stop that. But how much of it can you do? You rely on others to help you. You can make the orders. There are those who carry out those orders. But for the case that you're talking about, the Takugama, the dams, the Congo dams, and all that kind of thing, I hate it. And the president hates that. I wouldn't build a house
For
there.
me, lastly this morning, I would ask, are we going to see a change of pattern as to how the president appoints people these days? I mean, given in light of recent events, we've seen a whole lot of controversy around these appointments, from the railway person, the director of railway.
Why, do you have an issue with the problem of the railway director?
To the answer and all of these things.
No, the answers
What would
I
they be
have told
doing
you,
is the question.
The answers I have told you, if I was sitting in the seat where the president is, I would do that.
But you've told us
Because I
that
know
you have
them.
no knowledge of these appointments.
No, I said if I was sitting there.
And
I was
yet you are an advisor to the president.
Oh, come on. Do
Are
I
you being
have to-
sidelined?
Do I have to? There's special. I am a special advisor.
Special?
Not on everything. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That is it. I'm a special advisor.
And
There are
speciality
people-
in this context doesn't include in these people.
No, I'm not on diplomatic issues.
Okay.
I'm not an advisor on foreign
What
affairs.
specific area do you advise on, if I may ask?
I just told you I'm a mining engineer.
Excuse me?
I just told you I'm a mining engineer by profession.
So you advise the president on mining issues?
As one of those things that I advise him on. Okay. There are other issues on governance relating to general issues that I advise upon.
Right.
But foreign affairs is not in my... But what I'm telling you is that if I was sitting in that seat and the idea comes for these answers that I know so well, and I know what kind of contribution they're bringing into the country, who my friend is trying to misinform us that they are the same family from Moyamba and Kono and all, and I know they've never been there. Okay. They've never been there. They are not that family. Please stop that. Otherwise, you can be sued for slander. They are not the same family.
You're saying
no, they are not. Well, that's an allegation. Okay, keep it as allegation and don't make it sound
you're
absolute.
saying if you were sitting on that seat,
if I was president,
you mean
I
the
would do
seat of the
same.
president?
Oh yes, if I was
That's
president.
a seat you had vied for in the past. Is that something you're
vied
still
for it.
interested in?
No,
the
no.
presidency of Sierra Leone?
It's too late now.
Okay.
Too late now.
Out
you are
of
late.
curiosity,
Why-
we just
why
wanted to
late?
get that.
Why late? Because the man who's sitting there is doing exactly what I would have done. So why go invent the umbrella when I can buy one? Right?
All right, thank you. We just wanted to get that part out of curiosity. Ibrahim, sorry, we're rounding off as we lay this to rest. What do you think should be the president's approach in dealing with the controversy that this set of appointments has, sparked in the country?
Well, it has been done already. We just questioned the manner at which it was done. It is his constitutional right and power within the framework of the Constitution. And the other thing is we've brought issues that this family, they have been alleged. Like the Dakla Mohammed Anta was associated with other Lebanese people. These are, so we ask that some of these things ought to have been investigated by the advisors to the president, seek clarity, because there must be clarity as to whether these were the people or they were not. Now it has happened. The only option I think the president has, he has the power to revoke if it pleases him again.
You think he will
because
revoke?
it is there.
You think he will revoke?
I don't know, but
Should he?
Well, looking at the moral controversies around the Anta family, I think he should. Okay,
You're talking about the wrong Anta family here. You might end up in trouble, young man. Be careful.
Let's talk about the tourism. Now, you bring in somebody as a diplomatic representative for the tourism aspect. We must ask, what has the person done in the tourism sector? Because this is a big area, as my brother has already asked him as the presidential spokesperson, regarding touristic activities, we must ask, what has he done? Because it goes with the experience and expertise. If I want to appoint you as a special envoy for tourism, I must have known the expertise, the experience you have got in that field, whether building hotels or whether building recreational centers that attract people to come, or whether enhancing by way of helping to shape the touristic environment. All of these questions need to be asked. But however, we don't know how the appointment was made. Maybe it's a square peg in a round hole. Because my daddy has already said it's a way of compensation.
No, I didn't say that.
No,
please.
he said
no, I said it's a
honorific
recognition.
award.
Don't put words in my mouth, please. I'm sitting here.
It's an honorific award.
Of course.
You say
it's
they
not
have
a
done a lot.
compensation.
And if they have done a lot, you said because they have done a lot, so therefore they deserve the appointment. That is compensation. That's a reward for what they have done.
Gentlemen.
And it ought to have been done by merit, by a substantial grounds, because
I'll allow you to
Gentlemen,
acquire some more experience in life.
We've come to
Before
the
I
end
answer
of
that
the
question.
conversation. I'd like to thank both of you for being here this morning and be part of the conversation. This is where we would end today's edition of Wake Up Sierra Leone. We would say thanks to our guests for being here. Thanks to our lovely audience for tuning into the program, and those of you who participated on the comment section. We appreciate your time.